Alright guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Clicks Creator Keyboard by Mr. Mobile Michael Fisher for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now before we continue, I did just want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Mobile. I didn't get this sent to me at all. I bought this with my own money, but that is really awesome to see another creator making a product that's really nice actually, and putting the time, the effort, the money into it. Just a huge shout out to him and his whole team at Clicks. They really knocked it out of the park with this, and it's a very niche type of accessory, but it's really cool to see, so huge props to them. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box. Now, it does say Creator Keyboard here up at the top. This is the London Sky colorway. It does come in a few different colors, which we'll talk about, and the price on this one is $159. Now, that is for the 15 Pro Max and the 15 Plus, $159. But for the 15 and 15 Pro, you're looking at $139. So that is the price difference on those. Either way, a little bit pricey, but you do get a good bit with this. So let's look at the rest of the box. Now, it does say precision typing instrument for iPhone 15 Pro Max. And on the back, it says content first. Maximize your screen space for apps and content while you create with Clicks. Make your statement, type with speed and precision on a keyboard built for feel and performance. Easy on and off. Add a compact, lightweight keyboard when needed, or leave it on all the time, you decide. And ultimate control. You get to take action with the access to iOS shortcuts and voice input at the push of a button. Now, this is the Founders Edition. Like I said, that London Sky colorway. So let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I get a very Apple type unboxing from this experience, which I really like it. So it's a little bit different than Apple because you do have this little pull tab right here, but you do pull that out, and that's pretty much it with the box right there. And you just kind of pop out your keyboard case here. That's all you get in the box right there. So we'll set that off to the side. And here we go. Now, I did my best to try to put it back into the plastic just to give you guys that full unboxing experience. So right here, you just kind of peel this open, pull off the plastic, and here is our keyboard case. Now, we're just going to go ahead and pop this little part out of here, and let's see what all we get. Now, the first things first, you get a little QR code. This is going to take you to the website where you can also download their app, which is on the Apple App Store. So that is definitely something you want to take advantage of. Make sure you download that app if you get this, because it does give you a few more controls over the case. So that's pretty much what you get here. And you get a little thank you note. Welcome to Team Clicks. Some more over here, and happy creating from Michael and CBK. So feel free to pause that and read that for yourself. Then moving on, you get a quick start guide. So it just tells you kind of how to install it, your little shortcuts and commands, what all other shortcuts you get right here. And that's pretty much it on the back. So very nice presentation so far. And on the inside, you do get a little peel sticker, which I have not peeled off. It doesn't affect the case in any way, but you can peel this off, and it says, when inserting, removing the iPhone from the keyboard, just keep your iPhone straight. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's take a look around it. Now, starting off with the back, you just get this TPU material here with a plastic camera ring and some nice leather feeling material here. Now, I don't believe this is real leather. I haven't been able to find any information, but it is nice because when you are sitting here and using it, it helps with that grip at the bottom so your phone doesn't slip out of your hand. So you get that right there. And moving along to the inside, you do have your USB Type-C port. Now, this does also come for the 14 series, which has Lightning, so you can get it in that version as well. You get some speaker and microphone cutouts right here since it is going in all the way. That way you have no issues on phone calls or playing music, being on speaker, whatever. I have tested that out. No issues at all. And talking about the inside of the case, you do have a silicone material that goes all the way around the inside of the case, all the way into the bottom here. And the rest of it, all the edges, the sides, are silicone, except for the buttons here and the back, as well as the leather part right here. So before we go ahead and put our iPhone in here, let's bring over our scale and our caliper. We'll see how much this thing weighs, how thick it is, and we'll go from there. Now, this thing has really been reminding me, actually, the build of it, of the Apple silicone case, and I'll show you guys why. But starting off with the weight, we are looking at 64 grams, guys. So not too heavy for what all you're getting. I have been using this for the last few days, and it really does not feel too heavy in your hands at all. It's very comfortable to hold, very comfortable to use, and it doesn't feel like it's just weighing in on your fingers, on your hands. I've been typing a lot on this thing. I've had no issues with the weight. Now, moving over to our caliper here, let's see how thick it is. Pretty much the thickness of a regular phone case. Now, when I unboxed this for the first time, I was actually shocked about how thin this is and how light it is, because I was expecting a bulkier kind of back of it, so that way all the wires integrate and everything, the keyboard being bulkier. I was expecting a thick case, but this is not it at all. So we are looking at 10.4 millimeters thick going from front to back, and left to right, you're looking at 1.2 millimeters thick. So the average thickness of any other phone case, which is very, very nice. I love that this can fit into your pocket, at least thick-wise, and you won't have any issues. It's not huge, it's not bulky, very comfortable to hold. The only issue with it going in your pocket is because of how long this thing is, it may not fit in all of your pockets the whole way. It may stick out a little bit out of your pocket, but that's one of those things you're just gonna sacrifice adding in a keyboard to the bottom of the phone. So it's gonna add about that much size, which let's see how much size the actual keyboard is here. So just from the bottom, it's adding another 42.8 millimeters. So not the end of the world, but you do get that keyboard here for your typing experience. So enough rambling about that. Let's go ahead and slide this in. Now, this part right here is flexible, so we're just going to try to keep it as straight as we can. There we go. And it just clicks right onto your case, and it's good to go. There's no power button. There's no anything else you have to do. I would say just install that app. You get a few more additional controls, but other than that, you are ready to go. So let's talk about the fit of this. Now, first things first, the sides are very, very, very flimsy on the top half. Once you move down here, you have no issues with this moving at all. It just starts where the buttons end towards the middle of the phone, but that's so you can easily take this on and off without bending or breaking anything over here and without messing up your USB Type-C port. So this is going to have to be a little bit flimsy to give you that flexibility to be able to pull it out and push it back in flat so you don't damage anything. But let's look at how those corners fit. There we go. Here, just pull one off. No click on those corners whatsoever. This is just silicone. It's not terribly easy to take off. It does give you a little bit of resistance, so I do like that. It's not crazy flimsy like this. They definitely thought about that, and it is on there pretty tight. So I have a feeling if you drop this, which I'm definitely not doing, but if you drop this, it will be protected. At least over here, your phone should not slide out of this at all. Now, the only worry I have about that is any kind of hair or dust, debris getting in here. Because of how flimsy it is, I would really like to see this tightened up, but I completely understand why it can't be, because it does have to fit on the phone and it has to not break your USB-C port working and doing so. So taking a look at the sides of it, on the top we do have a completely closed in top. The left-hand side, you have your action button, volume up and down, and the rest of it is closed in. Let's listen to those buttons. Now, these are not standalone buttons. They are built into the case. Let's listen to how they sound. So you are clicking the buttons of the actual phone itself. They just have a little silicone cover on top of them, but no issues with the button clicks. It is very good. No problem with that. Now, moving along to the bottom, you just have your USB Type-C port right there because your microphone and your speaker holes are right there in the front. Since it goes and it closes all the way down to the bottom of the phone, they give you those little cutouts right there so you don't have your speakers or your microphone muffled. So nice USB Type-C port right there. And moving along to the right-hand side, it is completely closed in with your power button there, and you do get a little bit of that Clicks branding right here. So very minimal branding on the side. I would still like to maybe just see the logo without it saying Clicks, but I get, the appeal of it and you wanting to know that this is the Clicks keyboard. Let's go ahead and actually get a look at the keyboard itself. So once you open the app, this is what you are looking at. So you get a little bit of additional controls here. So we're gonna go ahead and enable the backlight. You can change the brightness of the backlight and a dim timeout. So right now it's set on 5 seconds. You can do it from 1 second all the way to 10 seconds. So you do have that option right there. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on 5 seconds. You move over to the next side, and here you have an option for caps lock. So we can go ahead and turn that on, and let's see. So it says, when enabled, double click the shift key to turn on caps lock. So that's really nice to have. Alt lock, so basically when you hit double tap the 1, 2, 3 button, it'll allow you to use all of the symbols since the keyboard has all of your symbols and numbers and things like that on there. You double tap the 1, 2, 3 button and that'll put that in lock so you can type in like a phone number or an address, something like that. So we'll leave that on. And soft return, it says, when enabled, pressing the return key will add a carriage return, move to the next line. Use shift return to send a message. So right now with it off, if you're texting somebody or anything like that, you hit the enter button, it's gonna send the message. But you can turn soft return on for that to not do that. And of course you have a battery saving mode right here as well. Now I'm not sure why that's not clicking on, but let's see. So it says all USB-C accessories draw power from iPhone to maintain their connection. Even when not in use, battery saving mode cuts the connection between clicks and iPhone after a period of time. So I don't want that anyways, but right now it's not working for me in the app. Not sure why. I am on iOS 18 beta, so that potentially could be why, but not sure. And finally, you do have a firmware model right there where, oh, just like that, I have an update. So you hit that, you're able to update it, and it's updated successfully. It was that fast. So the keyboard's rebooting and you're good to go. Sit here and check the firmware. You're good. No issues with that. So we do have our backlight on. I'm going to go ahead and increase the brightness on that. So we have a note that's opened up and I want to test that keyboard for you guys. Now, before I do that, one thing I have noticed about this keyboard is because of the shape of the keys, and I kind of got some pretty big fingers. If you guys see my hands, like my whole hand can cover this entire case for the most part, you know. But for me, I definitely type way faster on the iPhone screen than I do on this keyboard. And I'll be honest, it does take some getting used to. When you are typing on here, it definitely takes some getting used to of not hitting any accidental keys, anything like that. I have had a few times where I've actually been typing a message and I hit that enter button and it'll send my text before I finish it. So I'll have to go back in and edit it. So that is something where you may want to turn that soft return on. And also just typing it around, you know, your fingers may slip or hit the wrong key, hit 2 keys at the same time. But it's just a learning curve, just like any other keyboard. Eventually, after enough words and letters typed through this, you will be good to go. I've gotten much better at typing with it since I've had it than when I first opened it. No issues. But let's go ahead and start. I'll let you guys listen to how the keys sound. We're going to type out the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog because that has every letter in the alphabet. So let's take a listen. So, my keystrokes aren't 100% accurate, but not bad for a pinch, especially with that autocorrect on. You will be good to go. Now, let's go ahead and discuss the keys here. So, starting with the top row, you do have your 1 through 0 number row there. Then from A to L and to the backspace, you do have a bunch of different symbols. Same thing with the Z through M row down at the bottom. Now, one thing I do wish is that we had a period button just by itself without it being on the M. I know you can double tap the spacebar, but that doesn't always work in certain situations. Sometimes you want to write a few periods or whatever. I don't like that you have to either double click or click this and keep clicking it back and forth from 1, 2, 3 to the M button. Or of course you can just hold it and put periods, double click it, put as many periods as you want. But I do just wish that we had a separate key for a period. Now, one thing that always confuses me is this tab key right here. I find myself clicking it often instead of the spacebar when I'm typing or trying to be kind of quick. So the tab key does basically the same thing as a tab key on the computer does. You can either fill in a word if it shows you in the suggestions, or it just creates that tab over space. Nothing, no big deal or anything like that. I could go without that button. If they would replace that tab with a period, that would be good for me. Now the bottom row, here you have your 1, 2, 3 button. There you do have that language switching button here, so you can hit it and see a few different languages. Then you do have your command button. So for example, if you hold it, you can click Command H and it goes home, things like that. You will be good to go. All of your different shortcuts, Command C, Command V, copy and paste, Command T for a new tab online. That all works, no issues whatsoever. Then you come over here, which this key I really like. You can just click this button right here, and that shows your keyboard on the screen. So for example, if you have you want these suggestions right here at the top, or whatever the case may be, you can always just turn on your keyboard right there on screen, do what you need to do, and when you're done, click that, it goes right away, and you have no problems. And then, of course, you do have your Siri button right here. That'll allow you to do voice dictation, or you can hold it and just enable Siri right there. So as far as the keyboard goes, the only thing is, I wish the keys were just a little bit different shape, kind of like how maybe it used to be on like the BlackBerry Curve, where they were a little bit more oblong, just because for me or somebody else with big hands, big fingers, you definitely do get some accidental key clicks. And of course, I'm still learning, and as I go on, as you keep typing, you'll get more and more precise with it, just like any other keyboard. But at first, just be prepared to really sit down and use this thing, because if you're typing a text or an email and you first get it, you're gonna be a little bit of a slow typer. It definitely takes some getting used to. I've gotten a little bit faster, but still not nearly as fast as I am when I'm just typing on the regular keyboard that's built into the screen itself. But all in all, this thing is really nice for somebody who types a lot of emails, or you just really know the memory of the key. You don't look at your phone a lot. Maybe you're somebody who's writing in a meeting, you type a lot, whatever the case may be, and you just prefer a physical keyboard. This thing is really, really nice for it. But like I said, just get used to it and you'll be good to go. So moving on to the only pretty much disappointment that I have with this case, and that is that it does not have built-in MagSafe. So let's go ahead and bring over our MagSafe paper, and what you're seeing right now is the MagSafe on my phone. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull this out of here, and we'll bring over that, and as you can see, no MagSafe. Now, that is a big hit for me, especially for $160, guys. I would really like to see MagSafe built in here somehow, because, I'm someone who uses MagSafe charging a lot. I pretty much use a MagSafe car mount. I use the chargers, the wallets sometimes. I use a lot of MagSafe battery packs. I test them. This is just not sustainable for me to where I can use this every day, because as you can see, it works with some of your accessories, but it moves super easily. There is no shaking test. There is no, sliding the wallet around. As soon as you touch it, it moves. But also when it comes to using it with a charger, as you can see, I can't even really get it to latch. It'll work. It'll start charging and everything like that, but it does not stick on whatsoever. And for $160, I would really like to be able to use this case with MagSafe, especially since I use standby mode a lot. Right now, I just got that magnetic connection, but if I let it go, it falls right away. It doesn't stick on whatsoever. So there is no 360-degree rotation test with this. There is no lifting the MagSafe mount, because it just does not do that. It will charge with MagSafe though, so if you do have a MagSafe pad, by all means you can lay it down. It'll start charging with no problems, but just with a stand, it will not stay on there. It'll fall off right away. So that is the only downside that I have had with this case. But other than that, it's been a lot of fun to use. It's been super, super nostalgic for me. I'm somebody, if you're, a millennial just like me, you're in your late 20s or early 30s, even your 40s, you have that experience with the old Blackberries, or at least I hope you do, because that was an awesome time. I used to love my Blackberries, but this really brings back that Blackberry keyboard feeling when you're sitting here and you're typing, especially with that little leather right here. I don't know what it is. It's like on the back of the Blackberry Bold. When you're sitting there and you're just typing around, it's really, really nostalgic. It's a lot of fun to use. But, if you're somebody like me and you're super quick with the keyboard, on the screen, this is definitely going to take some getting used to. Let's talk about the other colors. So, like I said, $159 on this one, $139 on the smaller phones. You are looking at 4 different colors. You have London Sky, which is this color. You have Bumblebee, Miami Beach, and Royal Ink. So, 4 different colors on this one. It's all in all a very nice case. It is pretty long, so you'll definitely get some questions asked. Like if you're sitting there and your phone is laying down like this, somebody's gonna ask you like, hey, what is this thing? Because if you put any other iPhone up to it, a 15 Pro Max, it's gonna stop right there. and this would look like a normal case, but now you have this, people are going to be like, hey, what is that? But if it is on its back, somebody's definitely going to ask you, like, hey, what kind of case is that? Like, you have a keyboard on your iPhone? That is really cool. And it is. It's a conversation piece. It's a lot of fun to use, and I'm really happy somebody designed something like this because it's definitely been a lot of fun to use. Now, one thing we did forget to talk about is that camera and screen protection. So let's take a look at that real quick. I am using a full coverage tempered glass screen protector. This does work with that, so you have no issues, but you get a very, very slight screen lip on here. I definitely would not set this down on its screen. Number one, to not damage your screen, but number two, not to mess up the keyboard. You spent 160 bucks on this thing or 140 bucks. You don't want to mess this keyboard up. But when it comes to the back and that camera lip, you do get a pretty decent camera lip right there. So you can definitely set this on its back and not have to worry about the back of your phone or your camera being scratched. Just this leather right here if that bothers you, but it's on the back, so most of the time it'll be covered anyways. So with all that being said, guys, this is the Clicks keyboard from Mr. Mobile for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comments below. I'm super curious to know what you think about this keyboard, the case itself. Have you ever had a BlackBerry? Do you miss that keyboard? Because I really, really do, and this gave me that nostalgic feeling. It was a lot of fun to use this, and it's definitely going to be in my rotation every once in a while just to sit here and mess around with it. But yeah, let me know down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and if you're interested in seeing my favorite cases for the iPhone 15 Pro Max or my top 10 case list, I'll leave that video right there.